At the break, we visit with Briley Bouma, the relief pitching specialist for North Central. And I think at other times you've had other roles on this team, but is relief pitching your main thing?
Yes.
What's the difference between being a starter and being a reliever in softball?
I was actually talking about this yesterday with some people from church, but it's like a completely different mindset you have to have. Like when you start a game, you set a tone, and the other team like really pays attention to that. But if you come into the games, you have to like keep it rolling, or if you're behind, you have to really like figure it out, get the team going again. If you come in, you got to have a strong inning so that your team really just picks himself up so they can get going again.
Right.
So
right. Let's talk about Cassie Rogers and Brooklyn Becker, maybe Huber, throw that group. And you, I think, if there was such a thing as a most valuable player, I think you'd be right up there among those players to be picked as. And it's simply because you've done such a great job coming in and, as I say, put goose eggs on the scoreboard. Rarely does anybody score against you. I don't remember you being that dominant last year. Something changed between this year and last year?
I think, honestly, it being my last year, me really being like, it's just a game, like just play the game, because last year I had a lot of pressure. I put a lot of pressure on myself. Okay. But this year I think it's just enjoying the moments and really living it until it's gone.
I like that. I think baseball, softball are games you have to be present in.
Yeah.
And just kind of go moment to moment. Do you feel like if you do put that pressure on, or if you've had a bad outing or whatever, that you got to get rid of that? Is it short memory imperative?
Yeah, you have to, because if not, it snowballs. And if I have a bad game or a bad inning and I continue to think about it, I carry it over. It just keeps going. Yeah. And if someone gets a hit off me, then I'll just go right back to it. I'm like, oh, well, here I am again. So then I just have to mentally get rid of it, and then I'm fine.
Well, the old saying in athletics is don't think too much because you hurt the team. Are you, I can tell you're pretty intellectual. Is that kind of something you have to overcome?
Yeah. I think a lot on the mound. And a lot of the times if I see a batter or on deck and I'm like, that girl looks like she's really going to hit one off me. If I think that, they do it almost every time. So I have to catch myself thinking that, and I'm like, okay, let's take a step back. Like, you have done this your whole life. Like, you have pitches, you have ammo that you can throw, and then I just really focus back in on that, go straight at the batters, and then it helps.
All right. So are you going to use this talent after North Central? Are you going to go on and play somewhere?
I'm not playing anywhere, no, but hopefully in the future I could become a pitching coach somewhere. Coach a team, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, why? Because you've had this success and you've kind of found a secret. Why, if you don't mind me asking, why not pitch again?
I want to, and I've debated it, but I got accepted into the Mizzou program for sonography, and it's like they only accept 20 a year.
Is that right?
So it's like a chance that I'm like kind of have to take.
Well, absolutely. But, at some time or another, the ball stops bouncing for all of us, right? And so stenography to me means being more like in a secretarial role, something like that.
No, it's actually medical. It's ultrasound.
Well, please then inform me, because obviously I'm not very well informed.
Yep. So it's ultrasound. I'll graduate with my bachelor's degree. It's a 2-year program, like summer. I start June 6th. Actually.
At Mizzou?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll do 3 classes a week. And then it's 5 hours a day for those 3 days. So that's 2 straight years. But I'll graduate with my bachelor's. Hopefully do ultrasound at like a women's clinic, like OBGYN. Okay. Maybe at a hospital. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. Well, this has proven 2 things to me. Number one, you're a lot smarter than I thought you were. And the second thing is I sometimes don't know what the heck I'm talking about. So I hope that's okay.
That's okay.
So I can understand now why you would want to give up, athletics to go into something that's that intense. Mm-hmm. What do you think about school here? How has school treated you here, and what's been your academic life at North Central?
I love it. I mean, I've made a lot of friends, even people in class, like that I only see in class, even if it's a small campus. I became friends with them. I think school's been good. Softball side has been great. I've made a lot of friends with them too. The athletic trainer, I got really close with her
Megan,
because
yeah.
my body hurts.
Plus she's a very likable person,
Yeah.
you know. So.
Yeah. So,
What kind of physical things have you gone through?
well, I had ACL surgery.
How long ago?
That was my junior year of high school.
Okay.
I think. I was out for about a year, maybe a year and a half. I had 2 knee surgeries in
Wow.
a matter of 6 months. So that kind of knocked me flat on my butt. I had to relearn how to walk, how to simply just pick up my leg.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty intense. But eventually I've been able to overcome it. But I've had like ankle issues from it. And then that has rooted into like hip issues, shoulder issues.
Oh man!
So my right side's struggling, but
So
we're getting there.
You're kind of every time you go out onto the end of the circle, you're like a medical miracle almost.
Sure, we can do that.
How does it feel the morning after you pitch? Does your body ache a little bit from having all that stress?
My knee definitely does. As soon as I get out of bed, I can feel it. I'm like, wow.
Huh.
I definitely pitched yesterday. But I try to run as little as possible. I try to do side-to-side movements as little as possible because it's just...
Yeah, well, that's me too. I try to keep
Yeah.
from running. That's one of the big secrets of my success.
Yeah.
So, okay, so how does that project to the rest of your life? Do they say that's going to be something that you'll always be hampered with in your daily life?
Yeah. I don't quite have full movement in my knee. I can't bend it all the way.
Which knee is it?
I can't straighten it all the way. It's my right one.
Okay.
So it's the one I push off the mound with.
Mm-hmm.
They took my quadricep tendon as my graft.
Okay.
So I lost all of my quad muscle, had to build it all back.
Wow.
So I'm going to have issues with that probably my whole life. And then they had mentioned probably eventually getting a knee replacement on that side.
Right.
So
Right.
we'll just see.
Hey, you mentioned a moment ago high school where you got injured. What was high school like? Where are you from, first of all?
I'm from southern Missouri, Ellington, Missouri. It's tiny, like maybe 800, 900 people.
And it's on the eastern side of the state as well as the
Southeast,
south?
yeah.
Okay.
It's down by the boot heel, kind of. My class was the biggest class. I think we had 36. Maybe.
No kidding.
So that was like it was a pretty big deal.
Right.
And softball, high school, I was basically the only pitcher. So I would throw every game.
Right.
Eventually that led to like shoulder issues, but got
Well,
through it. It was
correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the time in softball in high school, you play one game a day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
that's a little different. So
Yeah.
when you, going back to college, can you, does it hurt you to pitch in more than one game in a day, albeit it's limited innings that it started?
Not necessarily because of the adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't normally feel it during the game. It's normally after.
Okay.
So when I'm picking up all my stuff, I'm like, wow, my shoulder
Okay.
is tired.
Let's go back to Ellington and tell us a little bit about your family, if you would, please.
My dad is Chris. My mom is Carol. They're both from Iowa. Actually, all of my family lives in Iowa.
Okay.
So not sure how we ended up in Missouri. But they found a job in Ellington, so they moved down there from Buffalo, Missouri.
Okay.
And I've lived there since I was 3.
Right.
So
right.
my mom is the elementary principal,
No kidding.
and my dad is a high school counselor, so I've been in the school basically my whole life.
Right. Well, I can't believe you escaped the clutches of a family involved in education. Did you think about it a little bit?
When I was little, yes, but as I grew up, I kind of found like more of the medical side of things.
Right.
And I've always been like a nerd about like anatomy classes. I used to have like anatomy coloring books that I'd take to my classes in high school
kidding.
and study for fun. And people would be like, what is she doing?
Right.
But I just find that fun.
Yeah.
So I think medical side is definitely my forte.
We'll continue and tell us a little bit about your brothers and sisters.
I do have a brother. His name's Reese. He lives in Springfield, Missouri.
Good.
So he works at Walmart. He's a manager at Walmart.
Yeah, okay.
I don't
Wow.
see him that often, but we're pretty close.
Right.
So.
Right. Finally, what are your hobbies? I mean, you put a lot of time in softball, especially this time of the year. You've got school, but what do you do for relaxation and just to enjoy yourself?
I just scroll on my phone most of the time because softball has been my hobby
Right.
my whole life. So I guess just being on my phone, hanging out with friends,
Right.
going to church. I really enjoy doing that.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I guess this is a finally. What? How do you want this year to end? Not necessarily in wins and losses, but when all's said and done, what do you want to have gained from being part of the softball program?
I just hope to feel confident in what I finished in and be happy with the way I went out. So.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Briley Bouma has been our guest here at the break. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with game number 2 here in just a moment.